Wow. Thank you for moving. And Aretha, wow, you've got some moves, baby. Hello, Yaki. So I was with Yaki this weekend. It was beautiful. Thank you, Yaki.
With my three little kids, I don't have a choice. They love the sun. When you
Oh,
watch
wow.
Madagascar,
Oh,
you
wow.
know we dance a lot.
I was hoping they're going to play the Madagascar one, but they played Will Young. Will Smith's one. Okay, so I start recording. So, my beautiful ladies, thank you so much for being here. I know there's quite a lot of ladies that ask, please record this because I cannot make it because of load shedding here in South Africa. But I am so thrilled to have James here tonight. So, like I said, five people have cancelled this theme because they said it's not a good theme, or they feel it's egoistic. And then there was also another person that said it's not godlike to say you're self-reliant. And I said, but I think there's a reason why maybe you got this. Go and investigate inside of you. But nevertheless, we've got beautiful Liesl. She is coming in now, and we are going to start with load shedding. I just wanted to find out if she's okay, because we've got also, can you hear it? Very bad weather here, but she's not coming in. So what I'm going to do is, I want to say, James, it was so happy to meet you. I said to Ronnie, that was such a brilliant introduction, and you are so beautiful for me. I cannot wait for you. And when I look at your video, I thought, wow, the ladies is going to love you. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming telling us about those four ladies' stories, because one of the things I found out that people remember more things if it's related to a story. So thank you so much, James, for inspiring us tonight. And then I will give it all over to you. Thank you.
Okay, well, look, it's wonderful to see everyone, and a warm welcome from London. And it's just great to be connecting with South Africa, but I think also with Michigan, USA, and I'm not quite sure everywhere else. If you could possibly put in the chat if you're in any other country other than South Africa or USA. Anyway, it's such a pleasure to be with you here tonight. I've got 20 minutes, I believe. And I'm going to be talking to you not about self-reliance, because I was asked to talk about resilience. And resilience is an amazing subject. And I'm so grateful to be being given this incredible topic. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be talking to you tonight, because each of us have got an extraordinary story about resilience in our lives. And what I love about the concept of resilience is that it brings out this concept of a hero or a heroine. Everybody is a hero or a heroine in life. Every single person on this call this evening, you are a hero, you are a heroine. Own it, own it, because that is what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be an overcomer. You're supposed to be a creator. You're supposed to be a winner. You're supposed to be an overcomer. This is the whole essence of humanity. This is the whole essence of our human experience, to be on top. And so it's thrilling to talk to you about resilience. So I'm going to tell you, if I may, I'm just going to talk to you about what we're going to be doing. So there are four parts of what I'm going to talk to you about this evening. The first is I'm going to talk about resilience circumstances, circumstances where we have to be resilient. And I think you will probably have some stories about this as well. The second thing I'm going to talk about are stories. So we're going to look at four women's lives who exhibit incredible and have exhibited incredible resilience. Then we're going to talk about the resources to enable us to become more resilient. And finally, I'm going to invite you to do an exercise. So I want you to have a takeaway from today in the subject of resilience, so that you have a takeaway where you can get to work on more resilience in your life. Before I start, I want to tell you a story. So how many of us, all of us, have been to the airport, of course. But imagine this. You're arriving at the airport, you go to check in, you go to put your little code in the machine in order to get your ticket, boarding card out, and it won't work. Oh my God, what is going on? Why is this not working? You turn to one of the workers, you know, one of the people at the terminal, and this was at Heathrow. You may be familiar with, there were 5 terminals at Heathrow, and I was there at Terminal 1. And I turned to a person from British Airways, and I said, my code is not working. And I was expecting her immediately to say, sir, let me sort it out for you. Let me just come over to the machine and just work it all out for you. But no, she said to me, where are you going? And I said, I'm going to Amsterdam. She said, you're at the wrong terminal. So you know what it's like when you go to the airport, you cut it fine a little bit, you know, you're sort of there, it's all a bit of a rush. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm never going to be able to get to the other terminal, because the other terminal was absolutely not miles, but it was like about 3 miles away, 3 or 4 miles away. How do you get there? So I came out of the airport thinking, what am I going to do? Right. And I literally saw a car with the window just slightly rolled down like that. And I literally went up to this person in the car and I said, look, I'm absolutely desperate to get to Terminal 4. Can you take me? And he said, okay, yes, get in the car. And he drove me to Terminal 4. So when I got to Terminal 4, needless to say, when I got there, they said the gate was closed. I said, I must talk to the manager. So I talked to the manager and she got me through. So I just tell that story just as an indication or as an illustration, really, that, you know, having situations happen all the time. The big question is, how are we going to respond in these situations? Are we going to rise up and meet the challenge, or are we going to shrink back and go, oh, this wasn't meant to be, you know, this is not my day? No, I believe we are supposed to rise up, meet the challenge, and be the winner on the day, be the overcomer. So let's just talk a little bit about situations where we need resilience. So can you think about a situation right now that you are experiencing in your life that you need resilience for? Can you? Yes, I think we all can. I mean, I've got a situation this evening that's blown up this evening. I'm thinking, I need resilience for this. So has everybody got a situation? I'm not going to ask you to share it, by the way, but we've all got a situation where we might need a bit of resilience. And for those people who aren't putting up their hands, you're lying. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. So let's just look at the areas where we might have problems, right? Where resilience might really have to step in. So the first really scenario where resilience really has to come to the fore is someone tells you it can't be done. It can't be done. Have you been told that? Have you? It can't be done. So what do you think if someone tells you it can't be done? So it's kind of interesting. My aunt, when my cousin was going for a place in school, she was going for a place in a school called Rodine in Brighton. I don't know if you're in Brighton on the coast. It's a sort of very, very nice boarding school on the coast in Brighton. And the headmistress said, I'm sorry, Mrs. Stewart Wallace, we don't have a place for your daughter. And my aunt at that moment said, well, I'm sorry. I'm just going to sit in your office until you give me a place. And needless to say, she was given a place. So there we go, a little bit of resilience that came in. So the blocks that come up are, they can be quite you know, they can be quite debilitating. But you know what's really, really going on when someone is telling you something can't be done? They're projecting on you. They're projecting on you their lack of belief, their experience where they haven't been able to make something happen, and they're projecting on you. They're almost willing you to fail. But that's where we have to say, right, this is it. This is my moment, and I'm going to succeed. The second area that resilience really needs to come into play is when someone says, you're not up to it. Have you ever been told that? Have you ever been told that you are not up to it? You are not up for the game. You are not capable. I have. I think we all have. Someone once told me, I mean, that I would only ever earn £12,000 a year. Can you imagine that? Now, I could have bought into that and said, yes, that's the way it is. It's never going to be more than that. Or I could have said, and I did, and it made me even more determined. So, you know, if being told that we can't do something is common. The third, and I've got to tell you a funny thing. So, for example, John Lennon from the Beatles, long time ago, I know, you know, he was told, this is a school report, certainly on the road to failure, hopeless, rather a clown in class, wasting other pupils' time. Winston Churchill is a constant trouble to everybody and is always in some scrape or other. He cannot be trusted to behave himself anywhere. So, you know, all of these things can come up, but it all depends on how we all respond to it. Did you know Vincent van Gogh, the painter, only ever sold one painting in his life? Probably one of the best known painters now in the world. You know, it's an interesting one. All right, the third area that we need resilience is circumstances. We don't have the resources. We don't have the resources. Have you ever been told that? We just can't do it because we just haven't got the resources. But you know what I find? And this is what I've always found. I don't know if anybody's ever bought a house or bought a car. Yeah. And it's extraordinary where you think about, oh, I've got to buy this car, I've got to buy this house, whatever. And you think, there's no way I can achieve this. But suddenly it all comes together. How is that? How is that? It's because we choose not to buy into the negativity and we choose to be resilient. You know that Albert Einstein, imagine being a parent of this child. Imagine being a parent of this child and they don't speak until they're 4 years old. That was Albert Einstein. He didn't speak until he was 4 years old. You might think, well, I've got a real problem child here. It's never going to work out with them. But look at him, probably one of the most famous people of all time. Another one, big one on resilience, objections. I don't want you to do that. Do you have the X Factor in South Africa? Yeah. No, you don't have the X Factor. Okay, right. Well, I won't get into that. But anyway, I could have told a story about that, but that's fine. And then the other one are events. The situation is hopeless. Have you ever been told the situation is hopeless? Yeah. Maybe you're being told that now. The situation is hopeless. How are we going to respond? I don't know if anyone has ever seen the movie Apollo 13. Have you ever seen the movie Apollo 13? About how this moon rocket, they had an explosion in space. They were a long way from Earth. Their oxygen started decreasing massively. Their carbon dioxide levels started going up tremendously. It looked like they were going to die in space. Now, rather than throwing in the towel at mission control, they put out all the equipment that they had in the spaceship, and they decided to replicate a system on Earth that would enable these people to be able to come back without the carbon dioxide levels getting too high. And they came back. They made it. So, you know, all of this is just baloney. It's just baloney. And the key thing is just overcoming it. Right, here we go. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you a question now. And I want you to put this down in the chat now. Who is the woman that you admire from history the most? And I'm going to ask you to put it down in the chat. Who is the woman that you admire the most? I'll give you a moment to think about that, and we'll put it in the chat, please. Okay, right, interesting. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, Lady Di, any more? Yeah. Maya Angelou, yeah, okay, that. Michelle Obama. Oh, right, Rosa Parks. Now, this is very interesting. Right, okay, let's get straight into this now. Rosa Parks. So 2 people have written down, we're going to look at 4 people's lives now, very, very quickly, by the way. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks. What a giant of a woman. Do we know the story? She was on a bus. At that time, you had to give your seat up as a black woman to a white person. She refused. That one decision initiated the civil rights movement of America. She's now been applauded and is applauded as the mother of the civil rights movement. But what courage! I mean, imagine it, the police anger, the anger of the community, one woman standing up against society's norms. I mean, that's courage, isn't it? That is tremendous courage. The next one that I would like to talk about is Jane Fonda. Now, how many people, now I don't know, look, Jane Fonda is an old actress, right? I mean, but I really, really love Jane Fonda. Does anyone else love Jane Fonda? Yeah, I mean, I love Jane Fonda. I mean, she is just all out, isn't she? I think she's 80 now, 80, still on TV, still in successful shows, very, very impressive. Can I just read you something that she said? Jane Fonda said, and I'm going to read it, sorry. She said, it's called resilience. And it's a very mysterious thing. When I was first starting out, I'd go to auditions and I knew so many of the gals. Half of them were far more beautiful than me, and the other half were far more talented. But none of those women made it. I'd wonder, why did it happen for me and not for them? Now I think it had to do with that core resilience. She was just there. She was continually turning up. She was determined to make it happen. Now, the third person I want to talk about very quickly, Madonna. Madonna. Now, I don't know how many people know Madonna's story. Do you know Madonna's story? Anyway, we all know about her success, but what about her history? You know that at age 5, she lost her mother to breast cancer. Yeah, no mother, grew up with no mother. Her father remarried. She couldn't stand her stepmother. Wait for this. She decided to go to New York to live in New York. I mean, you're crazy. She arrived with $35 in her pocket. Can you imagine it? I mean, can you imagine arriving in a city with $35 in your pocket? And look what happened. So, you know, these people are resilient people, and it's so inspiring. And I just want to thank you so much for giving me the subject, because I have found it so enriching as I started looking at these people and seeing these people's lives. Final person, Lady Diana. Lady Diana. Now, I remember, I mean, I know it's awful to say this, but do you remember, or some people may remember, when Lady Diana died? Do you remember? Yeah. And I remember walking in the gardens of Kensington Palace in London, and it was just an ocean of flowers. It was an ocean of flowers. And I've never experienced a scenario like this where people's grieving was so palpable. I remember when the coffin came out of Kensington Palace on the road effectively to, I think it was St. Paul's Cathedral or Westminster Abbey, and people, as it came out, people screamed. But it was a scream, it was a scream for her, but it was a scream of anguish that people were letting go of so much pain out of their lives. And there is a lot of pain, there's no question. There is a lot of pain in the world. There's a lot of pain in people's lives. A lot of people keep it hidden. A lot of people are very, very courageous in the way that they battle on. But at the end of the day, we are called to be resilient. It's your calling. So we're not called to be self-reliant. I agree with you, but we are called to be resilient, and it's a core element of humanity. We are supposed to be courageous. We are supposed to be courageous in life. We're supposed to stand up, to rise up, and to overcome and to be winners. This is our human destiny. This is who we're supposed to be. Anyway, all right. So just very quickly, and have I got 1 minute, 2 minutes? I don't know how much time I've got. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. All right, so we're going to go straight forward. Now, I want to exercise. This is your exercise. You ready for your exercise? Okay. Okay, bit of paper, ideally, bit of paper. Right. I want everyone to write down, what is your greatest success in resilience? What is your greatest success in resilience? Your greatest success. You got that written down? Okay. I want to ask you now, what strategies or what plan did you have in place to enable you to rise up in that moment and be resilient? How did you do it? How did you do it? Can you identify any core strengths that you relied on in that key moment that helped you through? What was it? How did you dig deep? How did you dig deep? What was it? Yep. And then finally, and this is the real key to everything, is that if you want to keep something and grow in something, you give it away. You give it away. So I want to ask you, who is it in your life right now that needs your strength in their life to be more resilient? Who can you stand alongside in your life right now that you know needs that support in resilience? That's it. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful topic. And thank you so much for giving it to me. And it's just an honor and a privilege to spend this time with you.
Connect. Oh, Madeline, here's your kiss. Mwah. I know I don't have a lot of space on the cloud as well, but just so that I can have the two of you still in. Thank you so much, my beautiful James. Is there anyone that wants to ask James a question?
Well, not that I necessarily have the answers, but, you know, I mean...
maybe not.
Maybe.
But thank you so much, my beautiful James.
I'll
Liesl?
ask a question.
Yes,
Yeah.
Madeline?
Does it count as resilience if I had a setback during the pandemic that I'm working on right now, but I have not given up? So if I didn't give up with the depression and I'm working on it daily, even though I feel like a failure, I'm now using the hashtag fail forward. And having a setback when I was home alone and I'm disabled, and I was home alone 668 days during the pandemic with no car, and had everything delivered, and now I have like all this stuff that all these boxes, and I wasn't managing my depression or my OCD well. Does it count as resilience only in the future when I make progress again, or the fact that I never gave up and I talk about it in case it might help someone else not give up?
Well, look, I don't have the answer. You know, I mean, look, I applaud you as a courageous woman. You are a courageous, courageous woman. And your experience, obviously, you know, we don't choose these things, but they, you know, they come. And anyway, there we go. I don't want to say anything. What would anybody else like to say?
Yes, can I answer? Is it okay, James? Can I answer? Marilyn, I think you are courageous for not giving up, for still choosing every day to live. I applaud you, my
Yeah.
beautiful Marilyn. I applaud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just another thing, you are doing resilience because you keep going on and you're hoping for the next day for something better. So you are in resilience. So never look back.
Yeah. I think that's so true what you say. The key element here is hope. Hope. Never giving up. Hope. Constantly taking steps towards the goal, the hope.
And Yaki also said 100% she agreed. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for being so brave to let us know. Thank you. Thank you, James Sunit. Liesl, is it possible for you to come onto camera? I think you've got load shedding maybe now. Hi, Enilda.
Hi, I'm sorry I came in late, but I had something going on, business deal going on in my home. I couldn't connect before.
It's okay. It's okay. So now, Liesl, so ladies, I just want to say that, and James, I know Liesl for many years. Me and her mother is friends. And when I phoned Liesl while I was still in America in June to come and speak to us today, and she said, no, she doesn't do that. And I said, but when I asked God, who can I ask for this session for 5 minutes? I got your face. And she said, no. And I asked her last week, please do the video. She said, I'm not doing the video. And Liesl, I am so proud of you. You stepped up and you did a beautiful video for us. So I am going to give it all over to you. I am so proud of you being so brave. Thank you so much, my beautiful Liesl. Can you get, there you are. There you are.
Hey, man. Hello, you guys. So yes, I don't generally do videos. I would say I'm rather a writer than I am a speaker. So I'm not always so versed on this. I truly enjoyed listening to John and what he had to offer. And he spoke about somebody, well, a few ladies, I would say, that also inspired me. Madonna is truly one of them. You know, because also the way she's changed and adapted to the new world, I mean, since the 80s is absolutely amazing. And doesn't matter how people feel about her as a person, I think she's totally amazing when it comes to resilience as well. So my piece is just basically on continue the flow is what I called it. So not really a storytelling, but just, you know, like a few sentences that I think, you know, things that I've noticed in my own life and probably in other people's as well. So you'll experience sadness, anger, and frustration, even first thing in the morning. You know, I have to get up, I have to go to work, this, that, the other. But then don't forget to be grateful for those things that you actually have. Stick to your routine and keep the flow. Then also what sometimes happens is at work, you'll encounter challenges, possible errors, but just continue with things that are solvable. Keep the flow. Get back to error solving and challenge bashing, basically, after a successful task. And you'll manage to resolve those little issues. Personality clashes and unacceptable comments from others could aggravate and upset you. Just move away from it and, you know, keep your own flow. Continue with it. you are constantly rotating and you should just focus on a non-stop, no stalling attitude, except for some deep breathing, coffee, eating something enjoyable, and a wholesome laugh, where you just keep the flow. Feel grateful, happy, and smile. Your flow can inspire others that may be faced with some challenges to move along and feel confident to do so. And then just another small piece is through very trying times, you need to push through and hold on to the gems beneath the muddy surfaces. And I end off by the same as I started with, and that is continue the flow.
Wow, I am so proud of you. Thank you. What a beautiful message, Liesl. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gents, I don't know if anyone have a question for Liesl. If you don't have, in the reaction button, you can just give her a thumbs up or a heart to say that you appreciate her. I am so proud of you. Oh. Wow, thank you so much. So, can I tell you how I met beautiful Jess? So, we are on this course, and I saw she was writing teleprompter. She's going to use a teleprompter. And there was lots of people on. I don't even know how many people were on. There was thousands of people, but my eye caught the teleprompter, and my brother-in-law brought the teleprompter for me, but I didn't get time to see how it works. So I scrolled back. I was looking for her. So I sent her a friend request. It's about a month ago. I sent her a friend request. And I said, we arranged the meeting the next day. We never got to the teleprompter, talked about the teleprompter. We just talked if we were known each other for years. So I am so privileged for you to come and stand in for somebody. On Wednesday when I phoned you, you said, yes, you can come. So I just want to say thank you so much for your beautifulness and your willingness to come and teach us or inspire us. Thank you, my beautiful Jessica. Unmute.
Okay, sorry. This technology, man, what are we going to do with this technology sometimes? But well, guys, I am really honored to be here. When she asked me to do this last minute, I was like, well, you know what? I keep asking for these opportunities, God. So here it was in my face. It was in my face, y'all. So what was I going to do? I had to do something. So I went ahead and just jumped right on it. But thank you very much, Sonette, for that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful introduction. I just want to say that I am really honored to be here, guys. So my name is Jess Rodriguez, and I'm a speaker, author, and coach for Something Beautiful Women of Impact. And it's, basically it's like the ultimate sisterhood, y'all. And so I'm from America originally, from the States. Well, sort of have an interesting background, which we'll go into in just a little bit because it's part of the story. But I've been an international teacher forever, and now I have quit sort of teaching to go into this coaching, and I really haven't looked back. So it's been an amazing journey, and that's how I met Sanat. But so anyway, so I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for welcoming me in. I'm going to start things with a joke because I like a joke. Okay. And being from Texas, we do lots of little funny things like this all the time. And this is just kind of a little bit of an icebreaker for me because, I can get nervous sometimes and like a cat in a room full of rockers, y'all, So we're just going to, anyways, here's one of my jokes. It's, so it says, I told the doctor I didn't want brain surgery, but he changed my mind. He changed my mind. So one more dad joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Broken pencil. Broken pencil who? Never mind. It's pointless. Just never mind. So I love the dad jokes. If anyone's got a good dad joke, you can just dump it in the chat. I'm always looking for new ones. But the reason why I chose these was because we are talking about self-reliance. And yes, as she said before, it can be kind of a taboo subject sometimes, especially when you're a person of faith who's reliant on someone more than you. But the title of this is Self-Reliance. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. So we're going to unpack that a little bit and exactly what that means today. Okay. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a story here, it says, well, wait, first, if you could put inside of the chat, what do you think self-reliance means? Some of you could just put like a couple of words of what you think the definition is in there. Self-belief. It's good. Mm-hmm. Having resources, using your own powers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, this is really good because what we're going to be focusing on, okay, so the two things that we are going to be looking at, and kind of, I want to back up a little bit. What if I said that self-reliance is actually something that is already inside of us? It's already there. It's just, we're going to talk about how to kind of draw that out. And how do we do that? You say, Jessica, well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to tell you. It's about refocusing, right? And recreating what you're, finding out about these things about yourself. And someone said in here, having resources. That's exactly it. Looking for the resources and your own powers and this ability that you can actually, you have wisdom. You do have wisdom in there, locked in there. But sometimes we are our own worst critic and we actually don't. We're not really, it's not something that we take on sometimes because we doubt ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And there's two things that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to unpack them a little bit, but it's called refocus, right? And recreate. And we're going to talk about how to apply these in detail. We're going to talk about the details, how we're going to apply them in life, because it's already inside of us, guys. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I want you to walk away with all of this feeling encouraged, feeling free, and most of all, empowered for the next steps in your journey. Maybe you're hanging by a thread. Maybe you're on this call and you're feeling discouraged and depressed. I've been there. Maybe you're here and you're like, but I've tried everything. What else are we going to do? But there's always more. There's always more, right? And so, so this is what we're going to be talking about today. So just to kind of give you a little bit of background. So I was a kid growing up in a Hispanic family, Italian family in the States. We lived in Italy for a long time. And, I was that kid growing up where I had little lint balls in my hair, and my brother was just terrible about, it always made me feel small a little bit. These things kind of get to you and these labels get put on you, right? And it's not just that, but it's also something that happens, as you get older, because, your doubt comes in into your heart through woundedness at times, right? And so I had grown up, I kind of struggled a little bit in school, and, back then they didn't really teach you about multiple intelligences and things like that. And so I kind of grew up kind of struggling a little bit, got married, and, that's how, my life kind of just went on from that. The part that people don't know is that I really had gotten my heart broken in my relationship with my ex-husband. And so it was really a point where I was really depressed and I was really down, and I didn't know how to get out of this hole that I was in. And, when we're refocusing, which is what we're going to talk about, right? The thing that was the turnaround for me, all right, is that I had to realize in life that for something new to begin, something old has to die. and that wasn't my life anymore. And so when James was talking about how you start to realize that you can do these things, well, he's right, because, you know, I just want to encourage someone that today about refocus and recreating is that we are actually, you know, coming out of darkness and we're seeing the light that's already inside of us because of that resilience that James is talking about that was in us. We're actually making those decisions to say, no, I'm not going to listen to this talk. I'm not going to agree with the label. I'm not going to fit into it, just like Rosa Parks did, right? And saying no and saying yes to a new destiny. So you can thrive in that and thrive in your new beginning. And so it's kind of like coming out of a cave. You've been in a cave forever and it's dark and you can't really focus when you're coming out of the cave and your eyes are kind of squinting and you're like, oh, I can't really, you've been in darkness for a while. So you have to learn to refocus. So what does this mean to refocus, right? So we're going to kind of talk about that just a little bit here. So part of it is refocusing in 3 steps, right? To see the light, right? What is it that you bring to the table? Remind yourself. Sometimes you got to be your own cheerleader, y'all, right? What is it that you bring to the table? Remind yourself that you are not your present situation or even what your past was. Reminding yourself of that, right? Number 2, igniting your dream. Somewhere in all of this, you've coped and you've just survived. It's just survive. Some of you are here, maybe you've just survived. I know that's what I did. I was just barely surviving, trying to live my life. But the minute I actually started to say to myself, you know what, I can. Here's the resilience that James is talking about. I can do this. I can overcome. I can have a dream. This is not the end of the road. My circumstance is not the end of the road. This isn't the end for me. And, you know, looking at these dreams and how they, you know, these things that you've lost, right? The 3rd thing, transform, being dependent on others to help you that you can rely on, those people who are devoted to you, to be dependent on God. What is it that he has to say about you? Believing that the truth about what that is. And so this dependence starts to come inside of you. You start to raise up and you think to yourself, you know what? I can refocus and have new dreams and transform. But the only way to transform is to take out the lie before you can put something back in, because you can't put something new in soil that is not ready. And so part of what I want to do today is that I just want to encourage someone. I'm the queen of encouragement. I love it. And just encouraging you that there is a new beginning and there is a new destiny, and to refocus and ignite your dreams. Take a look at those again and begin to transform by having new soil and new ways of thinking. And so what I want to do today is, and I believe it starts with the words that you say to yourself. It starts with the self-talk, with the things that you believe. And I've struggled with this. I'm sure all of us have struggled with this to some degree. But I want you to hear my words, okay? Everyone who's listening. And you're going to get a free gift after this that I'm really into poetry and singing and songwriting, but I have a poem to give everyone on the call if they want it for themselves, just as a reminder. But I'm going to start off with this. So wherever you are out there, I just want you to look at me, and I want you to, you know, kind of close your mind off to anything else that's happening around you right now. All right. And I'm going to say these words, and I want you to take it to heart. Okay. And let this be your ultimate encouragement for today. Okay. And so here we go. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. You are not the same person that you were yesterday. You are free from the labels and the past that have so easily entangled you. You are free from the way and in the place that you have been in. You are not the same. The old person is gone, and you may have come in one way, but you were leaving another way. You are a new creation, and the old is gone, and the new has been brought forth. You are not where you were, and you are not who others said you were. And guess what? You are not even who you say you are, because you are something beautiful. And so one more thing, I just want to read this, this poem that I wrote. This is something I give to my clients kind of at the end of the course that we do together. It's called the Something Beautiful Transformational Toolkit. And we kind of go through this process together. For women that have kind of come out of boxes and labels and things like that from the past. But this is for y'all again. So it says, I am not the labels and boxes of the past. I do have wounds, hurtful and vast, but I am no longer living in those ways. I have a life not limited by those days. The time for playing small has ended, and I choose to live a life not offended. The words they said, I no longer hear. I run to my future facing the fear. The labels and boxes no longer hold me. Now I walk in the new me, dancing free. You see me now, I overcame the brutal. I stand before you as something beautiful. So that is for you guys. That is something for you to remember. It's something for you to take to heart. This has just been an encouragement session for you ladies. And if you have any questions or anything like that, I'll be happy to ask anything.
Wow, that was amazing, amazing. Can I maybe ask if you can read your poem again for us, please?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let me do that now. Just a second. Just when I need it again. Okay, hold on a minute.
That was a very powerful poem. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, I liked it. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. It was, kind of like what James was saying, that we all have a story. We all have a resilience in something that happened to us and how we had to get through it. And this is part of the resilient Jessica that has come about here. So I'm going to read it again. So if you're doing something, it's just, take this in. And it says, I am not the labels and boxes of the past. I do have wounds, hurtful and vast, but I am no longer living in those ways. I have a life not limited by those days. The time for playing small has ended, and I choose to live a life not offended. The words they said, I no longer hear. I run to my future facing the fear. The labels and boxes no longer hold me. Now I walk in the new me, dancing free. You see me now? I overcame the brutal. I stand before you as something beautiful.
And did you write that?
I did.
And you are beautiful inside out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm thankful to be here, guys. Thank you for allowing me to come encourage you. If you get a chance I'll put links in Facebook and on the YouTube channel. I have a little show called Java with Jess. And just my main thing is just encouraging women. It's a sisterhood, we have to be there. And I like to encourage men too, James, if they want, sometimes, but mostly, I like to encourage women. And I know that, we've got to lift each other up, and, this isn't, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So I hope you guys are encouraged.
Thank you. And my beautiful Jessica, thank you so much. Please mention on the Diamond Beauties your link to your YouTube channel as well. And then if you can do the poem, but can I suggest something? If you write the poem, it's gonna do nothing for the ladies. But if you can video yourself with your voice.
Okay, I know. I will. I have done it in my course. In my course, that's one of the last things at the end that we do together, because it's a whole transformation process that we do together. Yeah, uprooting all the old and putting in the new things, having the fertile soil to work with. But yes, I can do that. That's not a problem. I'll do a video for that.
Oh, beautiful. So while you were reading your poem, I got this on my heart, because we've got 5 minutes to give you all something. So Jessica, thank you so much. Liesl, thank you so much. James, thank you so much. So I want you all to close your eyes and just breathe normally. I'm going to read some words out. If the words you feel you are not that word, put that word in your heart. If you feel you are beautiful and you don't need to put that word in your heart, then you skip it. But if you came to brilliant and you feel you're not brilliant, take the word I'm saying to you, say it in your head, brilliant, and put it in your heart. Just a few words. We're going to do a few words. Are you ready, ladies? You can close your eyes. Achieving, admiring, amazing, authentic, awesome, beautiful, blessed, brave, brilliant, confident, cheerful, dazzling, courageous, creative, determined, delightful, effortless, elegant, exceptional, exquisite, fabulous, fun, genuine, glowing, healthy, heavenly, magnificent, playful, powerful, successful, and the last one for tonight, strong. Strong. So thank you so much. Luckily, my book was here and not in front, so I could quickly do that. So my beautiful Jessica, please tell us why we're going to play out with your forever song. Please tell us, why is this beautiful song your forever song? Thank you.
Well, it's kind of ironic that it's also named Something Beautiful, this song, right? But the reason why the whole time I was going through everything I was going through during those 13 years, right? Being in the cave, being in the darkness, I thought that my situation was going to turn out a certain way in my head. I thought it was going to, I thought something beautiful was going to happen through this other thing. And in reality, this something beautiful that happened was actually what I'm living life in now, the freedom I'm living in now, the coming out of a large amount of depression, feeling, all the stuff that I had to overcome now is where I'm living, and that's turning my mess into something beautiful. And so, when I heard this song and it really meant so much to me, this is where I got inspiration for my title of my business. And so the song has always been something that I, I listen to it regularly. It's my go-to song, it's one of my go-to songs. I am a musician and I do love to sing. So there's many songs, but this is the one song that has brought me to that place where, I just have to, I'm remembering what it is that I feel like God has done for me and coming through everything, the winner.
Wow, beautiful.
Amen.
So James and ladies, are you going to dance with me, and Jessica on her Forever song. I just need to stop the recording.